Hello friends, in this video we will use a TI-nSpire Calculator to enter a list on a list and spreadsheet page, perform one variable stats on a calculator page, and make a dot plot and box plot on a data and statistics page. So why would we do this? Well, let's say we have a list of quiz scores, and we're going to call this list of numbers a distribution. We want to describe and analyze how the list of numbers, the scores, are distributed. And to describe data, one variable data or univariate data, we use our SOCs. We talk about the spread, the outliers, the center, and shape. And in class we've learned how to do this all by hand, but of course it can be done using the nSpire very quickly and easily. The first thing you want to know is N, which is how many numbers are in the list. So in this case there are 11 numbers in the list. So N is going to be 11. Turn on your calculator. You come to the home page. You want to make a new document. And if it asks you can decide to save or not save. I'm not saving my old document. And let's start by putting a calculator on. We're going to use this in a second. So the first thing we want to do is get this list of numbers in the calculator. So we're going to add a page. See the plus page right here. So I hit Control and the dock key, which will add a page, and we want to add a list and spreadsheet page. The first thing you want to do when you get here is label your list. So I'm going to call these values scores because they're quiz scores. And then I'm going to down arrow past equals. This is for formulas. We're not going to use this in this video. And now I'm just going to enter these values in here one at a time. And you can just hit enter on each one. You can pause the video and get these values in if you're working along. And okay. Now that the values are in the list, I can do different things with the list. First thing we're going to do is do that one variable stats. And so I have two ways. I can use this pad and maneuver back and touch the 1.1, or I can just hit Control and the left arrow, and that'll change between the pages. So in order to do the one variable statistics, which will give us all the stat calculations, use the menu key, and I can either scroll down or just hit the number 6. For statistics, 1 is stat calculations, and the first one at the top is one variable stats. So menu 611. And it's going to ask you how many lists you want to use. We're going to use one list. And then you get this dialog box, and you're just going to tell the calculator which list by hitting the right arrow. So you hit the right arrow here, and any lists you have in the calculator will come up. We just have scores, so we hit scores, and that's it. You hit enter, you hit OK, and you get this long list of calculations. So X bar is the mean. It's the average. This is all the X's added up, 822 divided by how many there are. So here's N, 11. So 822 divided by 11 gives me the mean, which is 74.72, this number. And S sub X is our standard deviation, right here. The sigma sub X, that's a lowercase sigma sub X, is also a standard deviation. So if your list of numbers is an entire population, we would use this. But if your list of numbers is just a sample from a population, use the S sub X. And then here is your 5-number summary, your min, your first quartile, your median, your third quartile, and your maximum. Now let's say we want to look at this and take a look at the shape. We're going to hit Control and add another page, Control Dock, and this time we're going to add a data and statistics page, number 5. And all those dots, your numbers, will pop up here. Just scroll down to where it says click to enter or add variable, and you add your list. And when you do that, you get a dot plot. So you can see that these dots are somewhat symmetric, but maybe a little skewed right. And if I want to make a box plot, I can go to Menu, Plot Type, and select Box Plot. And if you mouse over, there's your minimum. There's your first quartile, 71. Your median is 74, Q3, and 89 is your maximum.